Chapter 1. The Sewers. The year is 1991. New York City. The Big Apple. The crime wave has significantly dropped down to 30%. The Turtles have been keeping the streets clean since the Foot Clan was disbanded a year ago. All was calm for a while until now. It was the month of June. It's been raining a lot lately. Local residents have been complaining a lot about the water pressure in their apartments. Complaints of clogs, brown water, or no water coming through their faucets. City streets were closed to investigate the issue. 3 sanitation workers were walking through the sewers to locate the problem. They came to a 3-way intersection of rounded corridors that the water passes through and split up. They begin to talk to each other through their walkie-talkies. "You found anything yet, Mike?" said Bob. "Nothing yet, Bob," Mike replied. "I see something up ahead, guys." "Looks like I found the problem," said Eastman. "What do you see?" Bob replied. The water got deeper the closer Eastman got to the source of the problem. It was a large mound of sewage slowing down the water flow. The water was up to his chest. "All right, fellas, we need to clear this up. Tell Mackie to send some more guys down here." "Guys?" Eastman said with suspicion. No one responded. "Hey, do you copy?" "Damn radio. Signal's probably jammed," Eastman said as he fiddled with the walkie-talkie. Eastman proceeded closer to see if he can move some of the blockage by hand. As he reached his hand, he noticed something moving in the sewage mound. Eastman backed away and said some expletives. A human figure oozed out through the muck and lunged toward Eastman and tried to grab him. Eastman screamed and grabbed his pickaxe from his back. Eastman swung it at the creature, but it grabbed the pickaxe and impaled it through Eastman's chest. He screamed in agony and his cry bellowed through the hallways. "What the?" said Bob as he turned around, reacting to Eastman's scream. Bob picks up his walkie-talkie and says, "Eastman, you okay? Was that you?" No response was heard. Bob was concerned, so he started to sprint towards Eastman's location. Mike had his headphones on shortly after the group's initial split, so he was completely unaware of the current situation. He was walking through the hall and stumbled across a damaged hockey mask. Mike picked it up and said, "Whoa, this looks sick." As Bob continues to run towards Eastman's location, he tries to call for Mike. "Mike, come in, Mike!" Bob yelled. Mike was still distracted by his headphones being on. Bob was forced to slow down as the water got deeper. He began to slosh through the murky water. "Mike!" "Damn kid," Bob said angrily. As Bob was walking through the water, he noticed it started to have a red tint. Sweat began to drip profusely down his forehead as he worried of what he might find. Suddenly, Bob bumped into Eastman's body, and he screamed in terror. Eastman's chest had a large gaping hole oozing blood as it ran through the water. Bob panicked and tried to turn back, but as soon as he did, the creature emerged from the water in front of him. It looked visibly burned all over and bloated from being in the water for a long time. It was wearing what looked like a mechanic's clothes that was tattered and torn. Its head was bulbous and deformed with bits of its skull exposed through what's left of its face. It grabbed Bob by the throat, slammed him into the water, and stomped on him to pin him down underwater. Bob flailed and kicked to try to free himself from the creature's grasp, then reached for the pickaxe, nailed Bob's head into the ground. The water turned into a bright crimson red, and the creature sloshed through the hall. Eastman's walkie-talkie suddenly went off, and Mike's voice was heard. Mike said, "Hey guys, where are you? I found this cool mask. You gotta see it." The creature looked back and walked faster through the water. Mike continues to analyze the mask to see if he can find a name or logo on it. He suddenly feels a cold chill behind him. He looks back, and the creature is standing before him. Mike screamed and ran away, dropping the mask. The creature grabbed the mask, looked at it for several seconds, and put it on. He stretched over its bulbous head and sank into his skin slightly. It then walked through the tunnels looking for a way out. It was concerned about Mike's whereabouts as it had its own agenda. Mike made it to the city streets and ran hysterically to the police officers near the crew's truck. Hey, officer! There's this big dude down there that tried to get me, Mike yelled. The officer replied, Whoa, what happened? Where's the other guys? Mike said, Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. I got scared. I guess, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. The police officers grabbed Mike's walkie-talkie and said, This is Officer Downing. Do you read me? I repeat, this is Officer Downing. Where's your location? Nothing was heard. The officer grabbed his own walkie-talkie and said, We need all units in my location. Stat. The officer then pulled Mike aside and asked him what the suspect looked like. Mike responded, He looked like some big, burnt, swollen up dude, and his face was messed up. Officer Downing replied, This is going to be a long night. Deep in the sewers, Splinter is sitting on a rug meditating while his sons sit at the dinner table eating pizza. They're all bickering amongst each other, arguing what's the best topping that goes on a pizza. Mike said, Like I said, dude, anchovies are bogus. Anybody that eats them got some problems, man. Raph cuts in and says, Oh yeah? Well, anybody that doesn't mind jelly beans and gummy worms on their pizza ain't wrapped too tight. Mikey fired back and said, You just don't appreciate fine cuisine, bro. Donnie then says, Will you two quit it and just eat? Leo sits quietly and enjoys his slice. Suddenly Splinter opens his eyes and says, Be prepared, my sons. I sense a dark presence has awoken. I have never sensed something so dark and clouded as this before. He thought to himself. The turtles grabbed their weapons and awaited Splinter's instructions. Splinter got up from the floor, stood to his feet. He then thought to himself and said, My sons, be careful. I fear your very lives are at stake.